I will tell you right now, there's probably not a summer or early fall dessert that I love more than a good, buttery, crispy peach cobbler. And this one right here is years of me trying to perfect it. My first peach cobblers were not this good. This one right here is the pinnacle of peach cobbler. It is so buttery, it is so sweet. These are fresh Georgia peaches from Georgia. I typically either get South Carolina or Georgia peaches. Whenever we go to my Mama Jane's in South Carolina, we'll get some good peaches. And I had my mom bring me some back the last time that she went to help take care of Mama Jane. And I have been dying to make this. I wanted to make this a few weeks ago for you guys, but couldn't get the peaches. And canned ones just don't do it justice. Although, if you don't have fresh peaches, you can substitute canned. This one right here is one you're gonna remember. A huge thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's episode. I've got 2 recipes I'm trying this week, a chili bang bang chicken, and then what I'm cooking right now is a crab cake and truffle mushroom risotto. Let's get right in.
One thing that's very true about Whitney and I is that we have very different relationships with cooking. For me, cooking is something that I'm genuinely passionate about. I look forward to getting in the kitchen, trying new recipes, learning new techniques, and creating something great to share with my family. For Whitney, it's different. She loves having a home-cooked meal, but cooking isn't something that she looks forward to after a busy day with 6 kids. And HelloFresh has been such a great fit for both of us. Whitney loves that everything is delivered right to our door with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so that there's no meal planning, no grocery shopping, and no wondering if we forgot something. I love that I still get the experience of cooking. The recipes introduce me to flavors and techniques I might not have tried otherwise, and everything that I need is already in the box. Also, I don't have to stop halfway through because I forgot some ingredient at the grocery store. It's one of those rare things that fits both of us perfectly. Whitney gets the convenience that she loves, I get the cooking experience that I enjoy, and together we get fresh, home-cooked meals around the table. And as an added bonus, I'm getting to try new foods that I probably wouldn't go search out the recipes for, and some of them that I didn't even really know existed. If you've been thinking about giving HelloFresh a try, now is the perfect time. Right now, you can get a free Caraway food storage set. It's about $155 value with your 3rd HelloFresh box. This offer is available with your 3rd box of an active subscription while supplies last. So whether you love to cook or it's the last thing that you're looking forward to getting accomplished for the day, click the link down in my description or scan the QR code here on the screen and check out what HelloFresh can do for you. I can say if you were eating these crab cakes with this risotto, you'd be thanking yourself later.
Now you just plain and simple can't have a good peach cobbler without peaches. And these are from South Carolina. South Carolina and Georgia peaches, in my opinion, are the best. Now, they're pretty simple to peel. You don't have to cut them all off. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I've seen people boil them and everything else, but you really just want to take that skin layer, take it off. Now, if you were using canned peaches, you can skip this, drain your canned peaches well, and go to the cooked portion of this, but this will only take a second. We're just going to skin these things up real good here, and then I'm going to show you a quick way to slice a peach. If you're an avid peach eater, you probably already know it. I will say one of the most difficult parts about peaches, and I learned this from my grandma, we'd get peaches, and as soon as we got home, they've practically gone bad. Peaches are fragile. You drop them, they bruise, the bruise rots, full of flies, it's over. If they touch each other, my grandmother has convinced me, and I think she's right, if they touch each other, they will rot where they touch. So you really just can't let your peaches, you kind of set them out when you get them home, or a lot of the packing boxes will have like the egg carton stuff, where it'll just sit there and they'll just have, the little peaches in each of their own little home. But we'll get this done real quick. Might not be the prettiest peeling job I've ever done, but we're in a hurry, right? So pretty much just take your peach, cut around the pit, and then you just start sectioning it off. And it seems to be way easier to do this than trying to remove the pit and everything else. It'll just pop right out on you. And here we go. I'll come over to the bowl. I'll drop these in here. I'll just push on it right here in the middle. And it'll all just fall off. Squeeze it together. All of them just fall off. Way easier than trying to pit the peach the way that I used to grow up and try to split the peach in half and pit it and everything. All the sauce will just fall off. Boom. So easy. We're going to do that about 6 or 7 times real quick. And just like that, big old bowl of peaches, head over to the stovetop. So this is the part, whether you're using canned or fresh peaches, this is the part that takes really what I think a lot of your everyday peach cobblers just up a notch. And that is kind of roasting these peaches a little bit here and a little bit of what else we're going to put in them. Now, the first thing we're going to go down with is 4 tablespoons of butter. And all of my recipes are always in the caption. Everything I make, I put the recipe down in the description because I don't want you not knowing how to make all this good food you're watching. Really simple. Before we go in with anything, we're going to melt this butter down. Now we're going to go ahead and brown this butter just a little bit. Give it a little bit of a nutty flavor. Good foam. Hard to see when your butter's browning in cast iron, so I'll keep stirring it because I can kind of see it when it splashes up what she's looking like, and that's still pretty milky. Trust your nose on this. As soon as that butter starts to smell a little bit nutty and starts to get a little bit of brown to that foam, and my eye was not as hot as I normally like it going in. We're gonna go in with these peaches. We certainly don't want this butter to burn, so you're better to put in your peaches early if you're not good at gauging that. Going with these peaches. We're just gonna let them sit for a second. Get as many mashed down on the bottom as we can here. Let them rest just a minute. Now, as they're sitting there, we're gonna take our sugars. This is a dessert, don't give it a hard time. It's supposed to have a lot of sugar. That brown sugar is gonna give it a little more of that deeper flavor, that more molassesy flavor. We'll let this sit for a little while as is. Just dumped it over the top, not even stirring it yet. We've also got our cinnamon, our salt, and just a tiny pinch of nutmeg. You put too much, it'll way overpower it. Nutmeg's a very warming spice. We just want to add a little bit of warmth to this. And then here in a minute, we'll add the rest of this, but we're going to turn it for a while. Now let's go ahead and flip it once. We'll turn this. We like a little char on one side of the peach if you get it, not necessarily all the way to char, but a little browning, but you're not going to get a great reaction all of the time. That's fine if you don't. A little bit does go a long ways though, and this is going to start cooking some of that moisture out. That'll get a little moist. You can get this. That looked pretty good last time. Okay, now, add some flavor, vanilla. Now this, you don't want to go too heavy with it. We're talking about literally like 1/8 of a teaspoon. But almond really wakes up those peaches. Too much, it starts to taste a little funky. And then we're going to brighten them with a little lemon, but we'll save that for the end. This right here is cornstarch. And what that's going to do is our peaches were a little bit riper than we like them. So this is really kind of juicy. We'll just sprinkle this across the top, and this is going to thicken this syrup up almost to like a gel, which is not quite a gel, but a little bit thicker, which is what we need so that our cobbler isn't watery. And you'll see that literally as soon as we stir this up a little bit here. This will thicken. Right now it's very watery, and you can see it's almost water. So we'll put 1 to 2 tablespoons of that in there. Started with 1. We'll see what it needs and how much it congeals. If you wait to cook it down, a syrup like this, and try to cook it down, what you're going to end up doing is over-ripening your peaches. They're going to turn to mush in your cobbler because they're going to still cook for somewhere between 40 and 50 minutes in the oven. And you do that with the peaches after cooking them on the stove top, especially a canned peach, and you're going to end up with a situation that your peaches are just paste. And we want these peaches still to have some shape to them when they come out of the cobbler. So this one went with 2 tablespoons. That's probably a little thicker than the last one, but still pretty good here. Now, final thing, we're going to add a squeeze of lemon to brighten this. This is not going to taste like lemon. This is just adding some acidity here to brighten this so that you get a little brighter flavor out of your peaches. It's also going to make them taste a little bit fresher. We went with fresh peaches, and now that little bit of lemon, the little bit of acidity to wake them up and make this sound really good. Now we have our syrup. We're just going to pour this right in here. Shake that off real good. I'm going to go right ahead and drop a whole stick of butter in here. And we're going to pop this in our oven to preheat our oven to 375. Now, I say start your oven preheat a little bit sooner. You only want this in for about 4 or 5 minutes, just until the butter stick melts. This crock pot is already hot. We don't want this butter to burn. So be very ready once this pops in there to get the rest of everything put together. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven over there. Take my little leather thing off so that that'll preheat for a few minutes at 375. Okay, now this is the simple part that everybody knows with just a couple things added. You got your flour. To make it self-rising flour, we have the baking powder and salt added. And then we have the sugar. And we're gonna go ahead and whisk all of that up first. Classic Southern utensil. Whisk it with a fork. We don't want to overmix the batter once we add the liquid. No matter what kind of dough you're making, overmixing makes your dough tough and doughy, and we don't want that. We want this crispy. We want this light and cake-like. So now that we've got this good and mixed up, this is not just milk, it's milk with cream added, heavy whipping cream. Recipe in the description. And then a little bit of vanilla. Just whisk in that flour a little bit. Just gonna scrape the doughy things off the edge. It'll still be lumpy. Should look kind of similar to pancake batter. That is good, and that is doughy. So by the time your batter is ready to go, over here, your butter should be ready to go or close. Now you need to keep an eye on that. If you're a little bit slow mixing this, this will have burnt. Couldn't find my little thing, so I'll throw this whole silicone mat down so it don't burn my countertop. It's bubbling beautifully, has a little bit of browning. While this is bubbling, I'll drizzle this in here. Due to filming, I have to stop and move things around a little different. Typically, that would be a little bit hotter coming out and you'd have a little bit more sizzling. Expect it to sizzle, but this cold batter will really cool them bubbles down quick. Don't be afraid if it does cool them down pretty quick. Get as much of that batter in there because you're going to love this stuff. You can swirl across there if you want. Now, we're going to spoon our peaches on top. Yes, we could just dump them on, but that's not what we're going to do. Spoon these around. This batter will rise up around them in the oven, don't worry. Now you can get fancy and stack your peaches here and then lay like a spiral ring or some kind of shape with your peaches or something like that and make it look beautiful. To me, the beautiful part about a peach cobbler is just the big, huge, brown, crusty top. But if you want something different, this is where you would do that. You could even save a few out till it starts to and then lay them on top and finish it cooking. And then now I will add this syrup. This is so sweet, so delicious. We're gonna pour this around. This is gonna create that kind of yellow marbling. You can see around the outside. Look how much it's already bubbled up around the outside here. This is gonna be that crispy outside ring. This is where it's gonna bubble up and be the lighter brown. Then when it pops out, you didn't see this because I did this filming episode backwards due to the length of time this takes to cook. When this comes out of the oven, sprinkle it with some sugar in the raw and a little bit of sea salt on the top. Now, back into the oven at 375. $15 or so minutes at 375, and then we'll change this over, drop this down to 350 to finish. Full recipe in the description there. Let's pull this thing out and try it here in just a second. Now this right here is what Grandma's house will smell like. Oh. Now the most important part of any recipe that you'll ever film is the part where you get to eat what you've cooked. And that's all I've been waiting on the whole time. This is a 55 minutes in the oven, okay? We've got to wait to enjoy this. You hear that? Let me do that again. You can't hear it through the mic. But oh, yes. See that gooiness right there? See how gooey that is? That is peach cobbler perfection right there. Somebody whips out to the church social with this one right here, pulls this out for dessert, and you have the makings of an empty plate right there, an empty dish. Let's put a few peaches on here. Oh. Now, You can't just have peach cobbler. You've got to have a little something cold and sweet on top of that, especially when it's still warm like this. Thankfully, I have just that thing. Got to have some of that good vanilla ice cream. Oh, yes. And that right there is, in my opinion, the ultimate summer dessert. So this is the reason that I actually cook. Well, I have like 7 other reasons running around this house, but the main reason that I started is because I love good food. And this peach cobbler is truly about as good as it gets. What we're looking for, you want a little bit of that ice cream. And then you want this super crispy outside crust right here. Super crispy. And down here, you want that custardy, gooey breading, almost like bread pudding on the bottom. I'll show you over here on the pan. This may not be the prettiest thing, but if you look right here, across the top, all the way around, under here, we pick this up, and you have that almost bread pudding like custardy texture right there. I mean, that's just so creamy and custardy. When that's warm, this is a peach cobbler that you just can't replicate anywhere else. I've had tons of people do different things. I ain't against a biscuit dough cobbler. I ain't against a pastry top. But this is, in my opinion, the quintessential peach cobbler. I promise you. One bite, you're gonna thank me later. What's a shame is I'm supposed to be on a diet, and I'm already living in my fall. Come on hoodies, I can hide a little more belly in my hoodie. Oh, this is so good.